Hey everybody, Dan back in GnarlyChicken Garage, going to start reassembling this GS 800 Adventure. Last video it took some chiseling to get that lower bearing off the shaft. Well, that's alright. So today I'm going to fill this back up in oil, 2.9 liters with a filter change is what I'm reading. And button everything back up in the front, the forks which are over there, and the wheel, front wheel which is beside it. I got the torque settings from the interweb, and then I have to decide between Chicken and I if we're going to go ahead and do this water pump. Now, the owner gave me the outer gasket for the water pump, but it's weeping through the weep hole down in here. Okay, the oil is weeping. I am not convinced at all from what I'm reading that the outer gasket is going to fix this problem, but the guy wants us to do that. I'm not interested in doing it myself because, well, the time it's going to take him for me to do this, and then including draining the coolant and then filling the coolant back up, and this has quite a bleeding process. So it's going to take some time for me to do this, and I believe 100% we're just going to end up doing it all over again because that outer seal is not going to solve his problem. But we'll see. We'll see what he wants to do. So we got our oil. He wanted to use Motul 10W40, so we got 3 liters of that. Ooh, I forgot about these. We got some new GnarlyChicken window stickers for vehicles, if anyone's interested in those. Filter, high flow. Oh, look at that. It's already greased. That's cool. Clean that up a little bit. Oop, there goes the brake. And no, I did not put the dirty end of this inside. It makes it super easy and clean. Alright, there's one. Well, it had to happen at some point, and it's happening. Snow. Yeah. Oh, man, that's bright. Whew. Okay, so the first thing I had to do is put the horn back in place here, and then put this bracket up in here and connect the brake lines into here. I think that's about where it needs to be. There we go. So I'm going to loosen the horn up and move him over a little bit because he's supposed to slide right up underneath that. That's the problem with that. Let me tell you, this is no fun. That's better. Always a good idea to clean these fork braces, upper and lowers. Get any grease or grime or crap out of there. Time for the right fork leg. I gave this outer tube a little cleaning and the inner tube. There we go. Snug these up. And this guy went right around here. There you go. See which way the brakes go on here. There's the left one. All right, I'll put the other brake on the same way as the other one. Start putting the front wheel on. So of course, like anything, when you get going on stuff, you realize that old stuff that's not maintained gives you trouble. So this brake pad over here kept popping out of its top clip up here. And with the pin in and the clip, I couldn't get this thing back and stay in place at all. It wouldn't even go in. So I'd take the pin out, clean it up a little bit. It doesn't look clean, but it's a lot cleaner than what it was. Drive it back in and put the clip back in and keep these separated until I can get the disc inside these. Okay, so I got the front wheel on, had to jack the bike up a little bit, but got the axle through. But before I started driving it in, I noticed that there was no spacer over here. And I thought, that's weird. There should be a spacer, I think, because there's one on the other side, of course, which is right there. So I looked over on the floor where I had the wheel sitting for a few days and looked all around the shop. And then I realized, wait a minute, I took pictures of this. If I go back, these are all the pictures that I took. And I'm like, man, why would I have taken a picture of the axle? You know, there's the back of the brake of the right front, and right front again. Oh, look at that. There it is. I actually took two pictures of it. There are no spacers in there. And if anyone thinks I just took a picture of this, this was taken Monday at 10 o'clock. And this is Wednesday. So, yeah. Good idea to take pictures. So I'm not worried about that now, unless there wasn't one on here when it came to us. But I mean, I could always check the parts catalog of microfiche to see. But I don't get why there's no spacer on that, unless this collar of the axle acts as a spacer. I mean, there's nothing that's going to go inside of that, and there was nothing on the outside of this dust seal that indicates that there was anything rubbing against it. So I'm going to assume that's like a floating, after this is locked down and I straighten the forks out, that this floats and stays after I've got it in the right position, stays in the one spot after I tighten up the axle and the pinch bolts. So this sensor, speedo sensor, I'm assuming, goes in here. So put him in. Okay, and then the axle nut. When I've got the bike back off the stand, I will make sure that these are all tightened properly. And by that I mean straightening the forks so that they're floating properly on this side. Brakes are on, which is nice. The wheel's moving nicely. Let's see if we got front brakes here. Which we do. All right, good. Guy here, the steering head, I torqued down to 29 Newton meters. I didn't get it on camera because it was just too impossible to get my wrench in underneath here. I should have took the bars off, but I've already got them on. So Torque it down to 29, I think it was. Turn the bars a few times and then re-loosen that to 10. And then tighten your pinch bolts on the side here to 19. Not very tight. Now I just have to, when I put the bike off the stand, torque down the front axle, do the pinch bolts, take it off the stand and do all that and make sure everything's lined up and put the front fender back on. One-handed camera would work, but anyway, you get the idea. Tighten this guy down, do the other three.